Every house has its secrets. Every road has seen tragedies. And sometimes the past refuses to stay buried. Tonight, I'll share with you 3 true horror stories, real experiences told by real people, that will leave you questioning what's lurking in the shadows. Turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and let's begin. It was supposed to be just another night. A young woman was on a business trip, and since all the big hotels were fully booked, she checked into a small roadside motel. The place looked old but harmless. She tossed her bag on the bed and tried to relax. But something about the room made her skin crawl. It wasn't the smell of mildew or the flickering light. It was the giant mirror covering the wall across from her bed. Every time she glanced at it, she felt watched. She pulled the curtains shut, checked the lock twice, and told herself she was being paranoid. Still, the unease grew. She remembered a trick she had read online. If you press your fingertip to a normal mirror, the reflection should touch your finger. But if there's a gap, it could be a two-way mirror. Her hand trembled as she reached out. There was a gap. Her heart pounded. She stepped back, panic flooding her chest. She called the police, her voice shaking as she begged them to come quickly. When they arrived, the officers knocked on the mirror. Hollow. They smashed it open, and what they found froze her blood. Behind the mirror was a hidden crawl space. Inside, a chair facing the mirror, cigarette butts on the floor, and a video camera still running. Someone had been living there, watching her, recording her every move. And the worst part, they never found the man who had been hiding in the motel. To this day, she never stays in hotels alone.
They never found the man.
It was just past midnight when a man was driving home from work along a dark country road. The fog was thick and his headlights barely cut through it. That's when he saw her. A young woman standing alone by the roadside, wearing a pale dress. She looked lost, vulnerable. Against his better judgment, he stopped and offered her a ride. She slid into the passenger seat, her face pale, her eyes sad. She whispered an address and said nothing else. The entire drive, she stared out the window, never speaking, never moving. Finally, they reached the address. He turned to tell her they had arrived, but the seat was empty. She was gone. Shaken, he knocked on the door of the house. An elderly couple opened it. When he asked about the girl, describing her in detail, their expressions turned grim. "You must be mistaken," they said. "Our daughter died. In a car accident on that very road. 10 years ago, the man swore he had seen her, spoken to her, driven her home. But he could never explain how she disappeared, or why she still haunts the road to this day. Many drivers since then have claimed to pick her up, and each one says the same thing. She vanishes before they reach her house." When a family moved into an old countryside house, they thought they had found their dream home. Spacious, quiet, surrounded by trees. At first, everything seemed perfect. But on their first night, as the house settled into silence, they heard it. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming from the attic. The father grabbed a flashlight and climbed up. Dust covered every surface. Spider webs hung in the corners. The air smelled of mold. Nothing moved. Yet every night, the footsteps returned, sometimes pacing, sometimes running, sometimes right above their bedroom. One night, desperate for answers, the father left a voice recorder in the attic. The next morning, he played it back. The sound of footsteps filled the room. Then, faintly, beneath the static, came a voice, a whisper. "Get out! This is my home!" Terrified, the family called a priest who blessed the house, but the footsteps never stopped. Neighbors later revealed a chilling history. Decades earlier, a man had been murdered in that attic. His body was found hidden beneath the floorboards. Some believe his spirit still lingers, walking endlessly, protecting the only home he ever knew. And to this day, Anyone who spends a night in that house hears the same thing. The footsteps, the pacing, the voice telling them to leave. 3 stories, 3 encounters with the unknown, a hidden stalker, a ghostly hitchhiker, a restless spirit in the attic. These aren't just tales, they happened, and they remind us that sometimes the scariest monsters are not in movies, but in the real world around us. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more terrifying true stories. And remember, when you hear a noise in the dark, don't be too quick to dismiss it, because sometimes someone is really there.